Shout out to Groovy. And which one you want to get into first, B?
We can do Jay Lonzo, Buried in the Mirror. So to give a little bit more context, I listened to each of these albums. I listened to this one specifically about 3 times. This project, I believe, was around 48 to 50 minutes.
Pretty long.
14 tracks, especially for someone who I'm just now getting introduced to. And my thing with this album is not a bad album.
Yeah.
This album definitely gave me vibes of back in the blog era, something I would have heard back then. But I feel like this is a more stripped and tame version of that. Now, Jay Lonzo, to me, he's an all-right rapper.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's a super duper califragilistic, like, lyrical spiritual miracle guy. And I'm not always looking for that. I'm definitely not the lyrical guy like that. He made very digestible, very easy to get into music. And overall, for me, this project is not a bad project. To me, what you're doing is cool, but I feel like it's one of those subpar things because I've heard what you've done better in other instances. And I feel like there wasn't enough character for me on this project. That's my thing, because I feel like everything you talked about was very surface level. It kind of gave me, I don't want to say Drake vibes, because I don't want to say he sounds like Drake, but to me it was very Drake surface level. But I feel like I didn't really get to know him enough to where I'm like, I feel for a struggle. I feel like it was more so like the like a Rod Wave kind of, where it's like, yeah, you're talking about these very relatable things, but you're not really going too in depth with it. Obviously, Rod Wave kind of gets a bit more in depth with it. For Jay Lonzo, these problems are all relatable. These issues or these personal things, these personal matters that he talks about.
It's just him.
It's just like it didn't get personally into him. And sometimes that's not a bad thing, but like I said, I've heard this done, but better. In terms of like, to me, the production, and I'm not saying that he has to have the best production ever in the world. The production didn't stand out to me. It was cool for what he did. It was very chill, very calm. It was very consistent. But I think the thing was, there was no song where I'm just like, oh, there was nothing that ever made me do that. Or something where there wasn't just one song where he was just flowing. I'm just like, I'm like, He kind of stayed in pocket. He stayed tame. The best way I can say is this project feels safe.
Hey, everything you said is my like how I feel about
like
it.
To me, it doesn't.
I mean, bro, you said exactly everything I was feeling.
Yeah, to me, this project it didn't make me interested to listen to more. To me, like I said, I feel like I've heard this before, but done better. Now, this is a good baseline project, but I can see that this isn't his first project. Yeah, so maybe, and this could just be like, this is this project's theme. You might have different themes in each of your projects. So I will hopefully check you out later on in the future. But maybe this was this project's theme. I feel like, especially with you saying buried deep in the mirror or buried in the mirror, I didn't really feel like you was buried in the mirror. I feel like it felt like if I were to start rapping in the blog era, because I've heard everybody that kind of sounds or does a similar sound like this. And I was saying this earlier before the pod. Some of the albums that we're going to be talking about, including this one, they all are like derivative versions of what Below the Heavens by Blue is. I'm not saying that he raps as well as Blue. I'm not saying the production is good as what Exile did on there. But I'm saying it's derivative in terms
of
like
a coming of age.
Exactly. That's perfect way to say it. It has the personal story, personal narratives. It's talking about your struggles. But I feel like it wasn't talking enough about your struggles, or you weren't really expressing how those struggles were necessarily for me to really be like, that really hit me right there. Like, I heard the songs, I'm like, I get it. It's cool. But it don't make me want to run back to them. And this isn't a bad project. For the people who aren't introduced to someone like a Blue or really wasn't there during the blog era, this project might be cool for you. For me, like I said, I've heard people do something like this, and this isn't your first project. And you are still growing as an artist, so I'm not going to write you off just because of this project. Like I said, this is not a bad project. It's just a very safe one. Like, I'd rather you risk taking a chance and failing and me being like, I didn't like that, but I saw where you were going with that. You just need to tweak it a little bit more rather than you kind of just playing it safe. Because I'm just like, a safe project to me is more boring than a bad project. Because at least with the bad project, you're taking risks, you're doing something, you're showing a bit more character, you're showing it whether it be in the beat selection, your flows, your rapping ability. This one, to me, it was just very safe. Like I said, your rapping ability isn't bad, the beat selection you chose wasn't bad, but nothing really ever jumped out or stood out to me. It made me really be like, ooh. Now, there was 2 songs I really didn't like that. And there was one guy on this project that sounded like Blast. But there was 2 songs on here. It was something with the flower shop, and I forgot the other one. I had to go to my Spotify. But besides that, to me, nothing really jumped out or stood out to me to where I got to go back to this. And I will let you know, like I said, I feel like I gave this a fair chance. I gave it about 3 listens. And I was like, this really isn't clicking for me. I could see how some people might like this, but for me, it's obviously going to have more substance than what the mainstream music is pushing right now. But for me, it just didn't really hit for me. But this could just be me, though. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts.
It's me as well. I felt the same way. I felt it was safe, and you stayed too much in your comfort zone. And one thing about you is that, like I tell you, have some type of potential. But I like B said, I wanted a song on here that stood out and not just stayed into that low, soulful, real melodic, like tone. I wanted wanted you so like some type of energy. Like even though I'm not the guy that's all energy, but like give me some spurts of like a up the tempo a little bit. Like get me more interested. Because to be honest, bro, this was like your rapping's not bad, but this was boring to me. And I was just like this. I gave it one listen, but I gave it a really in-depth listen because, like I'm saying, it's a really tone, low tone album, really, slow,
very
jazzy,
chill.
So it put me in that mode. So when I listened to this, I kind of was just chilling, had my headphones in, on the computer or whatever, but like really listening to what you're saying. Yeah, you're you having some introspection there. I see that's like your lane, like you want to show your vulnerability and things like that. But like you said, I needed some type of characteristics from you. Like I wanted to see another side in this project as well, and just everything just felt too safe, bro. And it's crazy because like I could show you what I sent Groovy. I told him I listened to this and I sent him the same thing that we said, and it's just like I was like, man, I just wish it was a little bit more from you. Like you said, he had more projects. I might have to listen to him just to see. Maybe you did a little more on those projects and got better reception on this type of sound, because that can happen. Sometimes people be like, yeah, I didn't really like that one. I kind of like your slowed up music more, and he probably was like, I'm just gonna put out a project of what they like. So that could be a problem as well, and we're going into that, but we'll find out if we go back. So other than that, man, I just really hope on your next project I'll check it out. If you kind of dibble in a little more different production, sometimes I guess show another type of another skill of like you can rap about how dope you are. Give me some braggadocious stuff. It don't have to be about the jewel, the new hoodies, or the nice car. It can be about how dope are you as a lyricist or whatever like that. Because I know that you want your lyrics to be displayed. You know what I'm saying? Because even on the type of music you're rapping on, you want people to actually hear the lyrics you're saying. So I just want to see how creative you can get with your bars, bro. Like show us your writing skills, a little more. Because like I just feel like it was like surface level, kind of the same little, stuff. And overall, yeah, you're not a bad rapper. It's not a bad project. It just felt too safe. It didn't get me up, B. I was like, this is kind of boring, bro.
It was just too safe, and it gave me that mixtape vibe.
Yeah, it did.
Not like a full album. It didn't give me like you trying to impress.
Yeah,
him.
and I know he's not like a big budget artist. I know he's independent, and I'm looking at his bio. I see he's influenced by J. Cole, of course, Mac Miller, Fonte, which is
But see, that's why after I listened to the album a few times and I was going through the bio, I'm just like, you took like, I don't want to say the boring parts of that, but you took one aspect from each of them, and it was the most tame aspects of them. I wanted you to get at me with something. Yeah. Because these guys that you are inspired by, they can rap well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't rap well, but it's like, they got some character with what they say. Except for maybe J. Cole. But yeah,
J. Cole got some character. When it comes to because he has stuff.
He had a giving up character.
Like even with J. Cole, he can give you like
he can give you definitely dope introspective and personal songs.
Because usually he stayed in that lane, but he also can give you like a, I can't think of that one song. What's it called? Stepchild or
Middle Child.
Upbeat tempo, all this type of stuff. Like I just wanted at least 2 tracks from there because I'm like, what's gonna pick me up? I kept waiting for that song to pick me up. I feel like this would have been a good format if it was an EP. If you gave me like 5 songs like this, I'd be like, okay, cool little somber EP, no problem. But a full album, kind of like
drags.
It dragged me, man. And like, not saying you're not a bad rapper.
Yeah,
bro.
There's something there.
It's something there. Bro.
Just this isn't it. Yeah, not all the way.
Dude, I go through Spotify and hear underground artists or people that's not even have less listeners monthly than you or more, and I'm just like, yeah, this is not it. I feel like at least you have something there, and I just think you just need to show more of your characteristics and kind of hop on some different production.
Yeah, to me, this, and the perfect way I can say this without trying to be disrespectful, this doesn't make you stand out.
Yeah.
What would make me want to listen to this versus the next artist? Because these artists also got to think, it's time.
Yeah.
I can't get this time back. Yeah. I spent time with this. Especially me, I listened to this 3 times.
Bro, it's so much.
3 different days at 3 different times also.
It's 2 different. I mean, it's so much music out here now. It's oversaturated. The game is crazy.
But you know what's not oversaturated? Good music.
Yeah. So I know he's to me he's in the lane of like, yo, I want to put out things of substance.
Yeah.
So
which is good.
it's cool.
But you also have to remember that you got to make good songs that are going to pull the people in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this sound right now, while it's not lost all the way, it's definitely what's not popular and it's not what's dragging people in.
Yeah.
I'd say that you have to get a bit more. Your beats, your production needs to be more. It needs to display your character a bit more. Because even though I don't like Amavi like that, I can at least say his production style is only similar to like a handful of people. This one, like I said, kind of feels like a derivative version of someone else I've heard. Meaning, like, you're trying to go for this, but you're not hitting it as well as that person. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because if I'm comparing you to something high, like I said, it's not bad. It's just it's subpar.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. It's subpar. It's a bit middle of the road. Like, it's not memorable. But like I said, this isn't a knock on you as an artist, because you could be in this lane, and like you said, people probably like, oh yeah, I like these 2 songs right here. Okay, let me give my whole album to this. Or maybe you just try different things on each of your projects. I don't know, but this really wasn't it for me. I'm not going to return to this.
Yeah.
Maybe in a retrospect when you have more projects, and then when I'm talking about each of your projects, But besides that, I'm not returning to this just for the fun of it.
Right on.
But yeah, Jay Lonzo, keep doing your thing. I'm hoping your next project is better, or maybe you got some previous projects that are even better. Yeah. That's just my opinion, though.
All right, man. Hey, keep doing your thing, bro.